Do I think architecture attracts a certain personality type? Yes, but I don't think that's true of everybody. And I think that's changing. But I mean, if we read Atlas Shrugged or Ayn Rand or The Fountainhead or any of that stuff, yeah, the stereotype exists for a reason. I think part of that comes from the fact that we are passionate about what we do, and the work that we do, it can be all consuming. And you can lose sight of the things that matter. I think that's true of lots of professions or people who are deeply passionate about what they do. I also think culturally, at least in the States, culturally, for a very long time, particularly pre-pandemic, one, you did not talk about what was going on at home or what other issues were out there. But two, architecture was and still very much is a gentleman's profession. You come often from a certain level of or certain class, and typically full of white males who aren't usually or haven't historically been always the central caregivers or supporting of other people in ways that were not just financial, right? So you have a confluence of a lot of these factors where you have super passionate individuals who care very deeply about what they do and can be laser focused on what they do and say, yeah, fuck all to everything else. And I think everyone should have a time in their life where they're able to do that. For me, that was college. I was able to go away, really be immersed in what I did and focus on honing my craft and being totally and utterly absorbed. And I remember I'm very close with my aunts and uncles in my family. I remember one year working on a project, staying up all night and sleeping through the next day, which was my aunt's birthday. And I'm incredibly close with her. She raised me for a good part of my childhood. And I slept through this person's birthday and I felt absolutely awful. And it made me realize work is not everything. Even though I was totally into what I was doing and absolutely loving it, I learned early on that picking up the phone and checking in on the people that you care about, whether it's for a good reason, you know, a birthday is an exciting reason, or because we're human beings and relationships matter, you can't let that go. But no one in school talked about that. Professors did not enforce calling home and making sure that you kept your relationships intact. My professor told us on our first day to do our laundry and call our parents because they're not going to hear from us for 6 months. We're going to be too busy. And I think that was celebrated. And to some extent, again, there are times in your life and seasons to be selfish about your work and what you do, but that seasonal shouldn't be everything, particularly as you get older and you learn that more and more people depend on you, depending on your relationship status. But, you know, my mom passed away a couple of years ago during COVID. And the only reason I was able to kind of get through it is because I run two businesses, both of which with best friends, and they understand that family matters and your emotions matter and your mental and health and all that stuff is important. And I think it's getting better post-COVID, but unhappy people in your place of work are not sustainable from a successful business perspective. But architects are inherently not usually successful business people. We're not taught that.